New details in the killing of conservative activist and Turning Point USA co-founder Charlie Kirk. Kirk was shot and killed yesterday during an event at Utah Valley University. He was just 31 years old. FBI officials say they were able to start tracking the movements of his killer starting at the moment the person stepped foot on campus. But the search for that shooter continues.
This was a targeted event. We don't believe that the community is at risk. However, we are exhausting every resource to find him, and we will do so.
And here's what we know. Video showed Kirk speaking to nearly 3,000 people at an outdoor event in the central courtyard. Officials say a single shot rang out shortly after 12 p.m. local time. According to a university spokesperson, the shot is believed to have been fired from that building on the right side of this graphic you see here. Now, 2 people were taken into custody yesterday, but they were later released because they had no link to the shooting. That is according to investigators. Students who attended the campus event showed their support for Kirk shortly after the chaos.
America just needs God. I pray really hard for Charlie and his family, but in conclusion, America needs God, and we need to come to a resolution with all this stuff.
It's terrifying. I don't know what to say. I hope they catch him. He took him. He tried to take a man's life who has a family, who has a kid. Nobody deserves to die for something where, everybody has different beliefs, and that's okay.
The messages honoring the life of Kirk continue to pour in today, including this one from President Donald Trump, who has credited the political activist with helping him secure the youth vote in the 2024 election. Here's what he had to say during a speech observing 9/11 just this morning.
Charlie was a giant of his generation, a champion of liberty, and an inspiration to millions and millions of people. Our prayers are with his wonderful wife, Erica, and his beautiful children. Fantastic people they are. We miss him greatly, yet I have no doubt that Charlie's voice and the courage he put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom. The date of the ceremony will be announced, and I can only guarantee you one thing, that we will have a very big crowd.
We've got CBS News team coverage standing by for us from Utah, CBS News reporter Andres Gutierrez. But first, let's go live to Washington, D.C. and CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane. Scott, thank you for your time today. I know you're following the investigation. What more did we learn from the FBI officials who spoke earlier today?
They characterize what they've learned overnight as breakthroughs, and they have a confidence that the video they've obtained from the neighborhood, from the community near the shooting, is going to lead them to the identity of the shooter. They're not releasing that video publicly, which is indicative that they think they're close to using the video themselves to figure out who did this. The timing was important, as based on what the state and federal investigators told us, that the arrival of the shooter was 11:52 a.m. Mountain Time yesterday. That's 8 minutes before the scheduled start of the Charlie Kirk event, and just a short while before the actual shot was fired. They describe a bolt-action high-powered rifle that they found that was ditched in the woods as the shooter made an escape from the roof and through a neighborhood. A bolt-action rifle is one particularly popular with hunters who want to take one good single accurate shot from a long distance. In this case, they say the shooter was on the roof about 200 yards away, 2 football fields away, and fired one shot hitting the target. The lack of detail about the shooter's clothing, the shooter's baggage, what else he had with him, indicative that they may be close to identifying based off the video they have now. They have, though, Mugo, also offered up a website for people to submit their tips, and they've gotten about 130 tips so far. But without releasing the video publicly, they may be on a short track to figuring out the identity.
Yeah, and Scott, you just mentioned some of the information there that authorities say they now have in terms of evidence. But out of all of that evidence, what do you think they need to find the shooter? And from what you heard during that news conference, does it seem like they have that information?
Well, they said the shooter blended in well, or was able to blend in on a college campus, either through his attire, through his through his demography, whatever age he is, and the ability of the forensics teams to look at that firearm, it's at an FBI lab right now, to work with the palm prints, fingerprints, and footprints they've obtained should help them move this along. But they also have just a tonnage of video, as everybody seemingly has their phones with a camera, the surveillance videos that are known to be voluminous on college campuses, and then there's the Ring doorbells, the doorbell cameras that exist in the neighborhood through which this shooter escaped. There's a lot to go through, but they also have indicated they've sent a lot of manpower to go through it. It's the Utah Department of Public Safety, it's the Utah Valley University Police, but also it's the FBI, it's Salt Lake Field Office helping lead this investigation.
Yeah. CBS News Justice correspondent Scott MacFarlane, thank you so much for your reporting. Let's go live now to Utah and CBS News reporter Andres Gutierrez. Andres, Kirk was participating in one of his Prove Me Wrong events. Can you walk us through what that is and what we know about the moment when that shooting happened?
Well, Muga, this was really essentially a trademark of Kirk and a person who really championed the freedom of speech. Essentially, the university here is one of 800 different campuses that has a chapter of Turning Point USA, the foundation that Mr. Kirk ended up founding. Essentially, he invites those who attend these events to challenge him, to essentially debate him to different ideas and see a different viewpoint, perhaps. And so he was taking a question about mass shootings. There was some clarification about the question at the moment that he was shot by that sniper who had, again, positioned himself about 200 yards away from where Mr. Kirk was speaking and this assassination occurred. And so as soon as that happened, the security team that was around him rushed him off that stage into a vehicle that was awaiting him and took him to the hospital where he later passed. But again, this does also raise the question of these open venue events. 3,000 people were in attendance, only 6 campus police officers who were on the campus at the perimeter, in and around the perimeter of this particular event. So a lot of people may be using this now as a case study as to what they can do to prevent this from happening again moving forward.
Yeah. Andres, tell us about where you are right now. What does the scene look like, and is there still a heavy police presence out there?
Absolutely a heavy police presence. So I'm right next to what they call the Fugel Gateway building, and they are using this as essentially as the nerve center for this operation and their investigation. The mobile command unit out here, the FBI has one of their tactical vehicles outside. I just saw here at the top of the hour as we were preparing for this live shot, just dozens of law enforcement entering a auditorium inside that building for what is presumably a debriefing that they're about to have. And so they have been working throughout the night. Again, they have cleared the campus. The campus itself is closed, but there is obviously a very visible presence besides media out here of them using this as their command post for this investigation.
Okay, CBS News reporter Andres Gutierrez, thank you.